Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Musical Mornings, episode 20. This, of course, is our private dojo live stream. So let me go ahead and pop out my chat here so that my awesome dojo members have priority here. So we're going to be going through a technical exercise, and then we're also going to be finding some notes. We're going to do a pretty challenging rhythm exercise, and I think a very nice and pretty sight reading exercise, and we're also going to go into some sight writing. So just a heads up, guys. I'm thinking after we finish this workbook, which I've created for Musical Mornings, after we finish that workbook, I'm going to redesign Musical Mornings to handle one topic at a time so that we're a little bit more focused. So there will be probably 4 or 5 more episodes. I don't remember. We're episode 20, so 4 more episodes with this type of format here. Good morning, Larry. Good morning. Good morning, ERT. Good morning. Glad you guys were able to find the stream. I'm getting a hang of how to do this, so I appreciate everybody hanging in there. And good morning, Dylan, hanging in there and telling me where I'm having issues and stuff like that. A big shout out to you guys because you guys are my members and you guys make this possible. You know, I eventually want to make most of my work YouTube, and I'll probably be teaching, 5 to 10 hours a week with my students in Colorado Springs. So without further ado, let's move on to our technical exercise for the morning. So this technical exercise, we're getting towards the end of this first volume of exercises. So it's getting a little bit more difficult. So I don't expect everybody to be able to count this type of stuff out. However, I am going to show you how to count it out, and it's up to you to work on this a little bit every day in order to get it to work. Now, with this technical exercise, we're taking the same idea as hitting the open strings, but now we're putting a little bit more of an emphasis on counting here. So a couple things real quick. I want you to notice the right hand pattern, and then we also have triplets with 16th notes. Good morning, Nick. Good morning. We have 16th notes and triplets here, which is, how do we count that, right? So let's just talk about the counting for a second. This is a good kind of exercise because it makes you execute really 2 different kinds of rhythm in 4/4. So we have our triplet, which is triplet, and then our 16th notes, which is da 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 da, right? So it'd be 1 E and a 2 E and a, or what have you. So if we were to count this, it'd be 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 E and a 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 E and it's very challenging to be able to switch between triplets and these sections of 4 16th notes. Now, we're going to be doing this much like the other open string exercises where we're starting with the high E and we move down to the low E and we move back up and we repeat and we do it twice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to point out the right hand finger pattern. So the triplet is I, M, A, and then the 16th note pattern is I, M, A, M. So we get 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 E and a 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 E and a 1. 2 E and a 3, 4 E and a 1, 2 E and a 3, and 4 E and a 1, and 2 E and a 3, and 4 E and a 1, and 2 E and a 3, and 4 E and a 1, and 2 E and a 3, 4 E and a 1, and 2 E and a 3, and 4 E and a 1, and 2 E and a 3. 4 E and a 1 and 2 E and a 3 and da 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 da, and again 2 E and a 3 da da, 4 E and a 1 and 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 E and a 1 and 2 E and a 3 4 E and a 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 E and a 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 E and a 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 E and a 1, 2 E and a 3 and 4 E and a 1 and 2 E and a 3 and da 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 da, bum 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 ba 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 bum ba 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 ba. So that's a tricky exercise. You actually saw I kind of screwed that up a little bit because I was busy looking at my screen to make sure my stream is still strong. But this is a tricky exercise, so take your time to get this one, guys. This one wasn't designed to be super easy, and in fact, it's really going to push your ability to count. I would recommend using a metronome so that you just ensure that you're not cheating on the triplets and the 16th notes. I should be receiving, by the way, guys, this is going to be very good news for, I think, for a number of you. I should be receiving the hard copy of my next book so I can check it over, which is all rhythm. And it goes into all this kind of stuff one step at a time, just like my sight reading book does. Okay, guys, so we're going to do Find the Notes. Now, let's make sure that you guys give me some answers in the chat. Let me know, what fret we're going to find this on and what string we're going to find it on. So let me move my circle into the proper spot here, and we're going to start with this. So I'm going to give you guys roughly 5 seconds to tell me what note this is, tell me what strings you're going to find it on. And if you don't have time to put it in the chat, that's cool, but put it in the chat if you can. So 5, 4, 3, 2, this is B flat. You can get that on the 3rd fret of your G string, right, as well as the 8th fret of the D. And if you wanted to go up past the 12th, you can get 13th of the A. So let's move on to the next one here, guys. What do we have here? What note is this? And where are the different places I can find it? This is a C. 1st fret of the B, 5th fret of the G, 10th fret of the D. All right, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, G. 3rd fret of the high E, 8th fret of the B, as well as 12th fret of the G. Don't worry, ERT, no reason to say my bad. One thing that I always like to tell my students, never apologize if you get something wrong. I mean, as long as you didn't just take a super big guess at it, The whole point of this is if you do make a mistake, you just want to be able to catch it. But feel free to make the mistake because you'll never catch it if you don't make it. And I will say I've learned more from mistakes than probably anything else. Well, more from good teachers and mistakes. Those are the two things that I've learned the most from. Okay, guys, this one is a B, open B, right? 4th of the G, and we can also get it on the 9th of the D. All right, so what note do we have here, guys? In 5, 4, 3, 2, F, 1st of the high E, right? 6th of the B, or 10th of the G. All right. And 5, 4, 3, 2, E flat, 4th of the B, and 6th of the G. And if you wanted to go above the 12th, you can get 13th on the D. Moving right along. Definitely pause the stream if you guys need. Also, the reruns of the streams are still Dojo members only. You can't find them on my YouTube channel, but you can find them in the members area. All right, guys, so here we go. C. This is 8th of the high E. Or you can grab it on 13th of the B if we're going up a little past the 12th, which sometimes is fine. I mean, when you're playing, it's definitely okay to go up past the 12th. But remember, 12th fret is right where everything repeats, right? Next, we have a G flat, which is the 4th of the D. 4th of the D, and you can also grab this on the 9th of the A. All right, guys, what do we have here? What do we have here? In 3, 2, F sharp, 2nd of the high E, 7th of the B, or 11th of the G. And guys, again, don't worry if you make mistakes. You'll actually see me make mistakes live on air too. I mean, and actually, Dylan's one of my students. I'm sure he's seen me make mistakes. Mistakes are okay. Mistakes are okay. You don't want to make mistakes when you're up on stage performing. That's where you don't want to make mistakes. But in the practice room, they are an opportunity to learn. All right, guys, this is a D, 3rd of the B, 7th of the G, and 12th of the D. Give you guys a couple moments for this one. I think you guys are going to be really excited with some of the upcoming stuff. I recently designed a dice game for learning your fretboard. Now I have to get the company to tell me how much the dice is going to cost for me to produce, but this is going to be a lot of fun, guys. This is the first time I've mentioned it on YouTube. I've mentioned it to a couple of my in-person students, so you guys are the first to know this is going to be a really cool thing. All right, guys, this is a G flat, 2nd of the high E, 7th of the B, or 11th of the G. So what do we have next here? In 5, 4, 3, 2, this is B, 7th of the high E, right? Or you can grab it 12th of the B. Next we have 5, 4, 3, 2, this is D, 3rd of the B, 7th of the G, or 12th of the D. All right, guys. What do we have here? In 3, 2, B flat, 3rd of the G. We can also grab this on the 8th of the D. Moving right along, moving right along. All right, guys, what we have here is a high E, 12th of the E. We're not going to find it anywhere else. I mean, you can get it up here too, but we're not worried too much about going past the 12th fret as of yet. I will do a special series on past the 12th fret stuff. And 5, 4, 3, 2, F. 1st fret of the low E, that is the only spot you can play it. In 5, 4, 3, 2, this is G sharp, 4th of the low E. Only spot you can play it. All right, guys, moving right along. We're almost at the end of this section. In 5, 4, 3, 2, E flat, 1st of the E. 1st of the E. Or sorry, 1st of the D, rather. I was reading Dylan's answer in the chat. 1st of the D. 6th of the A. And 11th of the low E. All right, guys, moving right along. Sometimes when I'm saying the answers, it's not best for me to look at your answers in the chat because it distracts me from giving you the proper answer, of course. So we have D flat here. Right, this is the 9th of the high E. And you can get it up here too, but we're not talking past the 12th yet. Last note finding question, guys. This is our A. 5th of the high E, 10th of the B. Very cool. Very, very cool. We are on to the rhythm. It thinks you're a spammer. Well, I think it should definitely let you send more messages, Mr. Dillon. We'll learn the kinks of YouTube Live as we go. All right, guys. So this is a challenging rhythm. This is a totally challenging rhythm. So is last episodes, and I think I made 1 or 2 mistakes on the first time through. So this is like. This is a challenging rhythm. So I want to go through this nice and slow so that you guys understand what's going on. There's a lot of ties, and there's a lot of these figures, which is da, 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 right? So we're going to need to take a look one measure at a time. I'm going to count each measure just straight up just individually, and then we're going to go through them all at once. So let's start with the first measure here. I'm wondering, no, I have to make the circle big. Okay, so this one goes 1 E, 2 and 3 and. Let's do that again. 1 E, a 2, and 3, and, right? Now the next measure, what we get is we get a tie into the beginning there, right? So we get 1 and a 2 and 3 E, 1 and a 2 and 3 E, right? And then this next measure, then we'll do the whole first line and move on to the second line. Then we get 1 and a 2 E and 3 and right? So this is kind of a tough exercise. So 1 E, a 2 and 3 and 1 and a 2 and 3 E, a 1 and a 2 E and 3 and Now we move to the second line here. Make the circle huge. Here we go. So we have, of course, a rest, or no, never mind, it's not hiding a rest. So we get 1 E and 2 and 3 E, That's the E, thing is really tough. And actually going into the next measure, it's even tougher. So we get 1 E, a 2. So 1 E, a 2, and 3, right? And those two measures together are actually kind of tough. So with those two measures, and we'll talk about the last measure in a second. So we get 1 E and 2 and 3 E, 1 E, 2 and 3, right? So those are pretty tough. Those types of rhythms you're gonna find probably more commonly than you think. This last measure we get 1 and 2 E and, right? So let's go ahead and do the whole thing, and we're gonna go nice and slow. So we get 1 E, a 2 and 3 and 1 and a 2 and 3 E, 1 and a 2 E and 3 and a 1 E and 2 and 3 E, 1 E, 2, 3, 1 and 2 E and 3. You're absolutely right, Dylan. I think I will set up some rectangles. The hard part is I have to actually make the graphics ahead of time. So today circles we'll have to do, but that's a perfectly, yes, Dylan, I'm gonna make rectangles. It's kind of like pointing out to your teacher how the blocks fit through the hole. So I'll have rectangles set up for next time. But very, very good point. I was actually just thinking that myself. All right, let's go through this one more time, maybe just a little faster. So we get 1 E, a 2 and 3 and 1 and a 2 and 3 E, a 1 and a 2 E and 3 and a 1 E and 2 and 3 E, a 1 E, a 2 and 3, a 1 and 2 E and. So there's our rhythm exercise. This is definitely why you guys want to either be able to pause the video or have the workbook or down. You guys all have access to the PDFs in the member area. And anybody that's on the $25 a month plan gets all my workbooks once a month, right? So this month we're going to be doing the rhythm reading exercises. Now I'm not going to do that live. I'm going to do that as an entire one long video because it's really good for YouTube search results. And basically that's why. Let's move on to sight reading. Okay, guys. This one is a variation on earlier episodes. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through the theory as I'm playing it real quick, and then I'm going to show you the fingerings, and we're going to go ahead and play through the thing. So we're starting with E and C, which this is really implied a C major in first inversion, right? So we have E and C, and we're just going to hit that top note twice. So we have da, da, and then we move here to an E minor in inversion, so G and E, and then C and E, which is our C major again, and then we let that go through. So we have second and first, bum, bum, and then third and open, so third of the low E and open high E, and then our third of the A, and then dun, 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 and this is just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. By the way, guys, this Friday I'm going to do a live composition set using probably this as an outline, at least the first part. On Spaceships Live. I don't really tell everybody about that channel because it's just my looper diary, and there's good stuff on there and bad stuff, but you guys can check it out if you like. So we have F up to D. This is a D minor, more or less implied, and we get G and B, which is a G major implied, and then we get D and B. And that's kind of hinting at kind of a B diminished sound, and then we're gonna get our C and A, which is our A minor implied, and then up to open B, and then open D and B, and then our E and C again. which is our 1. And then we're going to go to D and F, which is implying D minor, which is spelled D-F-A, right? So we get bum, bum, bum. And then we're going up to E and G, which is our 3, E minor, back to D and F, and then back to our 1. Right, so I'm going to walk you through the fingering. So we've got 2 and 1, 3 and open, and another 3 and open with the A string. Then we got 3 and 3, and then 3 and open, and 2 opens. And then we've got 3 and 2, opens, 2 and 1, and then open and 1. And then our E and G, which is 2 and 3, 2 open and 1, and then 3 and open. And then we kind of go back into the same thing, but now we go to 3 and open, and then 3 and 2. And then I'm going to go here with my index for the E and the B, because we're getting kind of E7 sound. So we've got E and open B, G sharp and open B, and then D and open high E, and then that resolves to our A. So open A and C first, open and first, and then we've got our 3rd and open, and then our F down here and our D, so low 1 and 3rd on the B. And then we're going to switch to 2 and 1, which is our tritone, which resolves to and 3. So what we have is 1 and 2 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 3. So there's our sight reading for the day, guys. Let's take a look at sight writing. One of my favorite things. By the way, guys, next month I'm doing my color music theory book. I'm just about halfway through writing that. It's going to be super awesome. I'm really excited about that book. But I'm even more excited about the month after next, which is going to be a book full of writing prompts. I'm going to lay it out a little bit different than the format I've done here. This was kind of a test format, and I think I was able to get at something, which is good. However, I think this can be improved. So there's going to be improvements to this, but I'm going to walk you through this because I do want to finish this workbook. Every workbook that I write, I want to finish, but I'm plan on improving everything as I go. Anybody that has studied with me as a student for any length of time understands that I'm always trying to improve what I'm doing. So let's take a look at this second measure and see what we can do to change it. So I'm just copying it over so it's easier for me to type in the notes. So to start, we have the... Now, what about... I like the idea of actually kind of starting back into this and then going back here and then maybe just switching the chord that we go to. So after this E minor, why don't we do... Or maybe even, what do we want? Yeah, I like the F. So we get, yeah, I like that. So we're going to take this bass note down to an F and take these notes and move them all down to A, which implies our 4. So remember, F major is spelled F-A-C. So now what we have is kind of a call and response type of thing. So we've got... And if you think about the call and response, it's kind of like, hey, Is someone there? And then someone's, yeah, I'm here. Right? And I think something next that would be really, really cool to do. So if we're going from the F, why don't we put in a something like that, right? So like a then bomb. Yeah, back down to that F maybe. So let's do, I'm going to hit a repeat here so that we can just make it easier on me to write. So I'm going to take this G, I'm going to grab this open B and then this open G, and then I'm going to move this up in what are called tenths. And I'm going to put an open G just kind of in between everything, and then I'm going to move this up to a B and this up to a D, and you'll actually say, hey, that looks a lot like some Fernando Sor I've seen. Yep, I love Fernando Sor. It's probably a lot like some Fernando Sor you've seen. So we've got that now. So what we've got is yeah, so I'm going to repeat this same thing, and I'm going to change the end of the measure just like I did with the last one. So what I'm going to do, instead of going to B and D, I'm going to overshoot B and D and hit C and E. Right, so now here's our first half. Back to and I want to use the same kind of technique that we've done this whole time. So we're going to repeat this and change the end of the measure. So instead of going to this C and A, which is our A minor implied, so if we're going from this G major, why don't we, so we get A minor, to E minor. So let's grab this low E here, and then let's grab these guys as, let's grab them as G's, and actually it might be cool to see if we can put what's called an accented passing note. So this doesn't belong to E minor, that A, but what we can do is yeah, and what if we even did that with this? So what if we went you know what? No, I actually just kind of like it just going to where it's going. So, don't be afraid to try things, right? That's the moral of that story. But if you don't like it, then don't put up with it. So then we have this. Now let's repeat this measure so that we can turn it into something else. So after that E minor, or sorry, do we want to go to an E major or no? I think actually it's probably better to, so if we're going what if we go to the same kind of idea? So if we're going from E minor, what about yeah, I like that. So we're going da da, and then down to C. And these are just parallel tenths, guys. Just parallel tenths. And then we're gonna go to a B and a D, and keep those open G's. And then I'm going to move that last open G. So we've got... And then I'm just going to add in our last C major chord here. So we have... So here is our writing. I'm going to switch the camera back on here in just a second, but I want to see what the chat, what's going on with the chat. So Nick, this is Sibelius. This is Sibelius. I was lucky enough to get Sibelius 7 before they switched to 8. I'm not sure what I think about 8. All right, guys, here we go. Let's go ahead and see how this is played. So we start off with our 1. By the way, I'm going to loop this with cello on tomorrow night, live, on a different channel. So there is the sight writing for the day, which gives you more sight reading to do and some sight writing as well. Aruna, thank you so much for joining the dojo. I saw that, told me an email that you joined us, and I'm very, very happy. We're right at the end of the session today, though, so you guys can catch the rerun of this. The rerun of this isn't going to be available on my YouTube channel, but if you go to the members area and you click on Music Morning Worksheets, right, you'll find episode 20. Episode 20. I'm going to type in the link to my other channel. So guys, with this channel, the reason I keep it separate than my normal YouTube teaching channel, because it's very stylistic. It's kind of like just the idea behind it is that I am doing everything kind of on the fly. I kind of think of a chord progression beforehand. I don't pre-write anything else other than maybe a chord progression. And actually, oftentimes I don't even pre-write anything. This weekend I will, or this Friday I will. But it's all just live composition. And I use a 5-string cello and an electric guitar with a looper. So I'll send you guys a link. Let me just copy this link in the chat. This will give you the link to that channel, where you can see last Friday's live stream, where I just get home after I'm teaching, and I usually open a nice cold beer and set up my looping system and go into Space World. The channel is called Spaceships Live, all one word. It's not something I'm trying to promote a lot. It's really just kind of a composition journal for me, and I put it up there also because one of my personal students, Kerry Ryan, said he really loves meditation music, and his son, who has autism, listens to it. And I was like, all right, well, I'll live stream it so he can take a listen. And apparently he likes it. So Kerry is an awesome student. He's coming along very, very well. So, guys, you know the drill. Go through these one step at a time. The video should be embedded pretty shortly. So what is a good metronome setting? I would set it at about 60, Nick. 60 to 64. And then each time you get it, nice and well, then maybe increase the speed by 3, but start every day about 60 to 64. The thing with the warm-ups is it's really not about going fast. That's something I always tell my in-person students, and most of the time people will come in and I'll say, all right, let's warm up. And I ask them to warm up in the lesson, because I want to see how fast they're going, and how they're holding their hands. And oftentimes everybody's going too fast with the warm-up. So here's the idea. The warm-ups are about keeping your hand comfortable and getting a good tone. Speed, I use pieces to learn speed. And honestly, if you start learning speed too soon, I can think of a number of guitarists, and a number of them actually that can play faster than me. But when they play fast, it sounds like crap. So it's like work on your tone and your fullness and the relaxation of your hand. The pieces that you play, or there will be some specific speed building exercises that you can do. But the pieces that you play are really only going to be as good as your sound. So develop the fullness of your tone with this. So go nice and slow. And I would say even, a metronome setting as low as 45 wouldn't even be bad. So I hope that answers all your questions, guys. I'm going to send the link of this video to the person that is helping me with my website, and they should have this embedded in the members area by the end of the day. You guys have done me a great service by signing up for my membership. I'm starting to meet some goals that I was trying to meet with this website, so it's very encouraging for me. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Also, if anybody's interested in Skype lessons, I'm going to type in my email address I do personal Skype lessons. Anybody that is at the $25 level a month gets 50% off of Skype lessons. So Skype lessons generally are $100 an hour, but if you're a member, you can get it for 50. So what Aruna says, she has doubts, or he or she. I can't tell with the name because it's an Indian name and I'm from the United States, so there's a little bit of a culture boundary. So let me know if it's he or she. You can email me. I just typed my email in the chat, Aruna. So go ahead and email me about the Learn to Read music and let me know what your doubts are regarding that lesson. Otherwise, everybody have an awesome day, and I will talk to you soon.